Have you ever woken up in the morning only to feel as if your own body has betrayed you? Do you dread each step, wondering if today will be the day when the pain finally defeats your spirit? Are you tired of hearing that your suffering is merely a byproduct of age, as if to say, this is your lot in life? If so, you're not alone. Many of us have found ourselves grappling with chronic pain, resigned to the notion that relief is simply out of reach. But what if I told you that there is something you haven't tried? A simple, almost absurd remedy that could change everything. Dear viewer, please be kind enough to subscribe to my channel, Listen My Advice. Leave a comment of 7 words about what inspired you, and hit the like button after 30 seconds. This will help my channel to develop better and share valuable advice with you. Meet Dr. Johnson, a specialist in restorative medicine with decades of experience, who has dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of chronic pain. He often hears the same lament from his patients. Doctor, I've tried everything, from injections to pills, yet nothing seems to help. It's a heart-wrenching confession, one that echoes across time and space, transcending age and circumstance. But Dr. Johnson has a secret, a method so subtle yet powerful, it can transform your relationship with pain. What if the key to unlocking your freedom lies in the soles of your feet? In this extraordinary exploration, Dr. Johnson recounts the real-life stories of his patients, ordinary people who have experienced remarkable transformations. Take, for example, the tale of an elderly gentleman who, after years of relying on a cane, found himself walking unassisted within 2 weeks of trying a simple adhesive patch on his foot. Yes, you read that right. Something as seemingly trivial as a patch could wield such extraordinary power. Imagine waking in the morning, not with dread and stiffness, but with a renewed sense of possibility. Think of what it would mean for those who struggle to climb stairs, whose knees protest with each step, or those who find it difficult to hold their grandchild's hand due to the unrelenting pain in their fingers. In hospitals and clinics, the refrain is often the same. It's just aging. But Dr. Johnson knows better. He understands that modern medicine frequently focuses on symptoms, prescribing temporary relief without addressing the underlying issues. Painkillers provide fleeting comfort, while injections only partially alleviate inflammation. Fascinatingly, the method Dr. Johnson advocates, a patch on the soles of your feet, harnesses the body's interconnectedness. The feet, as it turns out, are far more than mere appendages. They act as a control center for the entire body. This revelation has transformed countless lives. One patient, an octogenarian named Jack Gray from Yongin, suffered from severe arthritis in his knees for 25 long years. When he first arrived at Dr. Johnson's practice, he was confined to a wheelchair, unable to stand or walk without excruciating pain. After enduring 3 surgeries and over 20 injections with little to no relief, he felt hopeless. However, Dr. Johnson introduced him to the patch. Initially skeptical, why would a patch on my foot help my knees? Jack decided to give it a try. Just 3 weeks later, he returned to the clinic on his own 2 feet, a miraculous transformation taking root. "Doctor, it's a miracle," he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with disbelief. The pain that had plagued him for decades began to dissipate, and soon he found himself gardening and playing with his grandchildren, activities he thought were lost to him forever. His wife remarked that he appeared younger, a testament to the revitalization of spirit that accompanied him. Then there was the story of Kate Black, a 72-year-old woman from Seoul who had battled a herniated disc for over a decade. She entered the clinic leaning heavily on a cane, resigned to her fate. Yet, within just 3 days of employing the patch, she walked out without it, her doctor astonished by her swift recovery. As she shared her journey, it became evident that the patch was more than a remedy. It was a catalyst for her rebirth. Dr. Johnson continues to share these inspiring narratives, each one illuminating a remarkable truth. Not all patients experience such rapid improvement, but more than 80% of those who try this method report significant relief within 2 weeks. There's Paul Smith, a 79-year-old who had suffered from a frozen shoulder, making everyday tasks feel insurmountable. With the aid of the patch, he regained mobility and even found himself playing badminton with his grandchildren. And there's Natalie Payne, who, after years of living with rheumatoid arthritis, discovered newfound dexterity and creativity after 3 weeks of treatment. She now stitches clothes for her grandchildren, a simple joy that had once seemed impossible. These stories are not mere coincidences. They reflect a growing movement among individuals who, after exhausting traditional medical options, decide to embrace this unorthodox approach. What binds them together is not only their shared skepticism, but also their willingness to take a leap of faith. With each case, Dr. Johnson underscores the compelling evidence. Patients who take this step can unlock a new chapter in their lives, one free from the shackles of pain. So how does this patch work? Why does something applied to the soles of the feet hold the potential to alleviate pain in the back, knees, or shoulders? The answer lies in the intricate web of connections within our bodies. The soles of our feet are a microcosm, rich with over 7,000 nerve endings that link to various organs and body parts. They serve as a command center, orchestrating our physical responses. This is why the patches can exert influence far beyond their immediate placement, reaching into the depths of our being. Imagine a life where pain no longer dictates your choices, where every step forward is a testament to resilience and hope. The journey begins with a simple decision to try something new. As Dr. Johnson emphasizes, the time to act is now. So take that first step, and perhaps you, too, will discover the extraordinary potential that lies within. Join our channel, listen my advice, and embark on this journey towards a pain-free existence, one patch at a time. The key to your liberation may be right beneath your feet. Have you ever wondered why your feet, those unsung heroes of mobility, hold the secrets to alleviating pain in other parts of your body? Or why a simple patch on the sole can unlock a cascade of healing energy throughout your system? What if I told you that the ancient wisdom of Eastern medicine, blended with modern scientific discoveries, provides a compelling answer to these questions? Let's embark on a journey into the fascinating world of reflexology and the profound impact it has on our bodies. For thousands of years, traditional Eastern medicine has harnessed intricate knowledge about the body's energy pathways, applying the principles of reflexology to the feet. Imagine each point on your foot as a key, unlocking the potential for healing in corresponding organs and systems. The center of the sole is like a compass pointing to your spine. The inner arch corresponds with the lateral aspects of your vertebral column, while the edges echo the movements of your arms and legs. Even the areas beneath your toes connect to shoulder health. One particular point, known as Yong Chan, situated just above the center of your foot, stands out as the cornerstone of pain control and inflammation mitigation. In the realm of traditional Chinese medicine, this point is categorized as R1 along the kidney meridian, emphasizing its pivotal role in promoting wellness. Applying a specialized patch to this very point can spark the circulation of vital energy throughout your body, reducing inflammatory responses, particularly in your muscles and joints. If we shift our perspective to Western medicine, the sole of your foot reveals itself as both a terminal and starting point for blood flow. Being the furthest point from the heart, it is here that blood often stagnates before re-entering circulation. By enhancing blood flow in this region, we can improve overall nutrient supply to the body's tissues. The pull of gravity causes toxins to accumulate in the feet over time, but stimulating this area can effectively help detoxify and diminish systemic inflammation. The skin on the soles is exquisitely thin, which facilitates the absorption of the active ingredients in the patches. This is especially true around Yonchan and Yangtze, where subcutaneous fat is minimal and the density of blood vessels is high. As a result, the beneficial compounds in the patches can swiftly permeate the body and circulate through the bloodstream. Active ingredients like capsaicin, salicylic acid, and menthol can easily traverse this delicate skin barrier, targeting pain and inflammation directly where it hurts. A study conducted by researchers at the University of Tokyo in 2022 demonstrated that stimulating the soles of the feet alleviates tension in other body areas via the interconnected fascial network, a web of tissue that envelops the entire body, where pressure in one point can elicit effects in another. Furthermore, this stimulation encourages the production of endorphins, the body's natural painkillers. Subsequent research has shown that the concentration of endorphins in the bloodstream can rise by as much as 40% within just 15 minutes of foot stimulation. This explains why many individuals report an overall improvement in their well-being after using foot patches. Another compelling reason to apply a patch to your soles lies in their ability to enhance circulation. Among the ingredients found in these patches is capsaicin, a compound that dilates blood vessels and boosts blood flow. As a result, oxygen and nutrients are delivered more efficiently to tissues, aiding in their recovery and regeneration. This process is particularly advantageous for joints, which often suffer from sluggish blood flow, and improving it can significantly ease discomfort. Moreover, the salicylic acid present in foot patches boasts strong anti-inflammatory properties akin to those of aspirin, effectively reducing swelling and pain. Meanwhile, menthol offers a quick cooling sensation that diminishes discomfort almost instantly. Both from a scientific viewpoint and through the lens of traditional medicine, the efficacy of these patches has been well established. Yet, there's a crucial aspect to consider. All these benefits hinge on proper placement and application. Simply slapping a patch onto a random spot will not yield the desired effects. It's vital to identify the correct location, choose the right moment, and select the appropriate type of patch. So, what should you do? Grab some paper and a pen for notes, or simply bookmark this video for later. The most important thing is to put this knowledge into practice as soon as tonight. First, I will clearly indicate the specific points on your foot where you should apply the patch, tailored to the area experiencing pain. For knee pain, place the patch in the central part of the sole, a bit closer to the heel. This point is known as gallohole, galoyo. Remember, Even if only one knee is hurting, apply the patch to both the feet for optimal results. One individual, Ms. Natalie Myongji, shared that she initially only applied the patch on the affected side, but when she began using it on both the feet, the results were significantly stronger. If you're dealing with a lower back pain, apply the patch at the center of the sole. When you flex your toes, you'll notice a small indentation. This is the point known as Yonchan hole, Yongcheon hell. If you are suffering from a herniated disc or persistent lower back pain, focus on this specific area. An additional patch on the center of the heel can amplify the effects. Mr. Lithajun recounted how, after 20 years of enduring back pain, he experienced significant relief within just 2 weeks and was able to walk without a cane. For shoulder pain, place the patch just beneath your big toe and also under the pinky toe. If you have a frozen shoulder or adhesive capsulitis, it's advisable to use a larger patch on the foot corresponding to the affected shoulder. Mr. Choi Byung-ho expressed his satisfaction when he reported being able to play badminton with his grandson after 3 weeks of treatment, a feat that was impossible before when he struggled to even raise his arm to touch his head. If neck pain is your concern, position the patch approximately 2 centimeters away from the gap between your second and third toes, directing it towards the sole. This is particularly beneficial for those burdened by neck tension stemming from frequent phone use. Before applying the patch, it's essential to undertake a preparatory step. Thoroughly wash your feet and ensure they are completely dry. Soaking your feet in warm water for about 5 minutes will enhance blood circulation and amplify the patch's effectiveness. Remember, moisture can hinder proper adhesion and reduce the patch's overall efficacy, so make sure to dry your feet with a towel. Which patch should you use? Almost all patches available at pharmacies are effective. It's best to choose products containing the following ingredients: capsaicin, which improves circulation and alleviates pain; salicylic acid, known for its pronounced anti-inflammatory effects; and menthol, which provides a refreshing sensation and immediate pain relief. Plant extracts can also help mitigate side effects and prolong the beneficial properties of the patch. Just inform your pharmacist that you're looking for a patch to relieve muscle or joint pain, and they'll guide you to the right option. When should you use the patch, and how long should it stay on? This is crucial. The best time to apply it is before sleep, as the body enters a restorative state at night, allowing the patch's ingredients to be absorbed more effectively. It is recommended to apply the patch between 9 and 10 o'clock in the evening, leaving it on for 8 to 12 hours. Apply it before bed and remove it in the morning. Do not wear it for more than 24 hours, as this may irritate the skin. Regarding the frequency of use, it's advisable to apply the patch every night during the first week. After that, you can switch to every other day. Most people notice improvements by the 3rd or 4th day, but for persistent pain, it's essential to use the patch regularly for at least 3 weeks to achieve full results. Grandma Juan Mion shared that she did not notice significant changes during the first 3 days and considered giving up. However, by the 5th day, she genuinely felt a difference, and now, after 3 months of consistent use, her pain has nearly vanished. It's important to note that some individuals should exercise extra caution. If you have diabetes, be sure to inspect your feet daily. If you experience redness or itching, discontinue use and consult a physician. For those with sensitive skin, conduct a patch test on a small area first. Never apply the patch to open wounds. Additionally, I'd like to share a few simple habits that can amplify the patch's effectiveness. From now on, pay close attention to these tips as they could potentially double the benefits you receive from the patch. First and foremost, ensure you drink an adequate amount of water. Consuming more than 8 glasses a day promotes better distribution of nutrients and enhances the overall effectiveness of the patches. As we delve deeper into this fascinating interplay between ancient wisdom and modern science, remember that your feet are not merely conduits for movement, they are gateways to holistic health and well-being. So why not take a step towards a life free of pain and discomfort? Embrace the knowledge shared and allow your feet to guide you on a journey of healing and rejuvenation. Have you ever felt like life is slipping away, weighed down by pain that makes even the simplest of tasks seem monumental? Are you tired of hearing that your golden years will be filled with limitations rather than possibilities? What if a simple patch could turn the tide, transforming suffering into joyful moments shared with loved ones? Welcome to the possibility of a new beginning, where healing is not just a dream, but a tangible reality. Imagine waking up each morning and feeling the gentle warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, invigorating your spirit as much as your body. For many elderly individuals, this scenario feels far removed from their day-to-day existence. Pain can be a relentless companion, particularly for those who have spent decades nurturing their families, working tirelessly, or tending to the earth. Yet, amidst this struggle, the introduction of a simple patch designed to alleviate pain has begun to rewrite the narratives of countless lives. Picture this: the patch, infused with the natural ingredients that work harmoniously with the body, acts as a beacon of hope. It helps eliminate toxins while enhancing circulation, creating a symphony of healing within. However, to unlock its full potential, one must engage in supportive practices. Drinking enough water is vital. Many elderly individuals neglect hydration, which can diminish the effectiveness of the treatment. Ideally, one should drink at least 8 glasses of water daily, ensuring that each meal is accompanied by a glass of this life-giving liquid. And let's not forget to start the day with intention. A glass of water in the morning can set a positive tone for the hours to come. Now let's talk of movement. The act of moving our bodies can be a powerful antidote to pain. After all, there's truth in the saying that motion is lotion. Simple foot rotations in bed each morning, 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise, can significantly improve circulation and amplify the effects of the patch. Just a minute of this gentle exercise can lead to a world of difference. As you traverse your day, consider incorporating light walks into your routine. Begin with 5 minutes, gradually increasing the duration as your body allows. Movement, even in small doses, is the best medicine. The combination of the patch and gentle walking can accelerate your recovery in remarkable ways. Let's delve into the personal stories that breathe life into this journey. Take Mr. Lee Sang-chol from Busan, who spent 35 years behind the wheel as a bus driver. For him, each day was a struggle against excruciating pain from spinal hernias that rendered him unable to sit for more than 10 minutes at a time. However, after 2 months of diligently applying the patch to his feet, he experienced an astonishing turnaround. Now he finds joy in long fishing trips with his grandchildren, reviving not only his body, but also his spirit. Though doctors advised him to avoid strain, he has bravely ventured into light walks along familiar paths, reclaiming a sense of freedom he sought lost forever. And then there's Mr. Jong Ben Ho, an 81-year-old farmer from Cheongju who dedicated his life to the land. Faced with spinal stenosis, he could barely walk 100 meters without succumbing to numbness in his legs. The thought of a wheelchair haunted him, a stark reminder of the life he had built and the humility he would have to endure. Yet, after 3 weeks of using the patch consistently, he was amazed at the changes unfolding in his life. No longer confined by his limitations, he now strolls for 30 minutes daily, reveling in the simple pleasures of gardening and reading, igniting a spark of hope that had long been dimmed. In a remarkable testament to the power of the patch, a study involving 100 participants revealed astounding results. 78% reported a reduction in pain, while 65% experienced improved sleep. 82% felt more active in their daily routines, and an impressive 91% expressed a willingness to recommend the patch to others. Consider the heartwarming transformations witnessed in a nursing home in Gwangju, where 5 residents, once reliant on wheelchairs, were given the patches to wear for 6 weeks. The outcome was nothing short of miraculous. 3 were able to move using walkers, and 1 even began walking independently for short distances. The director of the center remarked on the profound change in the residents' demeanor. They transitioned from a sense of hopelessness to a renewed belief that life still held possibilities. The true essence of these patches extends beyond mere pain relief. They offer a chance to reclaim the life that seemed lost. Hobbies abandoned, friendships faded, and places once cherished are all within reach again. The power to transform your reality lies in your hands, just as it did for those whose journeys have inspired us. For those eager to maximize the benefits of this healing journey, let's explore a few lifestyle habits that can amplify the effects of the patches. First and foremost, maintaining proper hydration is essential. As previously mentioned, consuming a minimum of 8 glasses of water daily is crucial, especially for older adults who may not always feel thirsty. Water not only supports the body, but also ensures that the active components of the patch are appropriately absorbed and utilized. Next, consider adopting an anti-inflammatory diet, incorporating foods like ginger and turmeric, known for their healing properties, as well as omega-3 rich fish such as mackerel and sardines, can yield significant benefits. Fruits, leafy greens, nuts, and olive oil should adorn your plate, while minimizing the intake of refined sugars, processed foods, and unhealthy fats is equally important. Mr. Choi Deong-chol, a 79-year-old resident of Seoul, shared his remarkable journey after embracing an anti-inflammatory diet alongside the patch. He found himself needing painkillers less frequently. Morning stretching can also work wonders. Dedicating just 5 minutes each morning to stretch your ankles, flex your toes, and massage your feet can prolong the patch's effects. The simple act of rolling a tennis ball underfoot can release built-up tension and invigorate your body. Lastly, embrace the importance of walking. Engaging in light walks for 20 to 30 minutes each day not only enhances circulation, but also strengthens muscles, creating a synergistic effect when paired with the patch. Start small, perhaps with just 5 minutes, and allow yourself to gradually increase your walking time. Imagine the profound changes that can unfold in just 3 weeks as you begin to weave these practices into your life. The transformative power of the patch, when combined with mindful hydration, nutritious food, gentle movement, and a positive mindset, can lead to a life filled with joy, vitality, and renewal. As you embark on this journey, remember, the potential for change is not a distant dream, but a reality waiting to be embraced. So why wait? Take that first step tonight and discover how much brighter your future can be. Have you ever felt like your body is rebelling against you, causing pain that seems to drain the very essence of joy from your life? Are you tired of dismissive medical advice that leaves you feeling even more isolated? Have you ever wished for a simple remedy that could bring relief and a sense of purpose back into your daily routine? If these questions resonate with you, then keep listening. This might just change your perspective on pain management forever. Picture, if you will, a serene beach at dawn. The gentle waves caress the shore, and a 76-year-old man named Yonho, a resident of Busan, takes his first steps onto the sand. He recalls a time when reaching the front door felt like an insurmountable task. Yet here he is, walking for 30 minutes every single day. The pain in his back nearly vanished. This transformation didn't occur by magic. It resulted from a combination of adhesive patches and the simple act of walking. Such is the power of regular movement, coupled with the right tools, an approach that many overlook in the quest for relief. But let's talk about sleep. That elusive realm where we seek refuge from our daily struggles. Maintaining a proper sleeping posture is crucial, yet so many of us fail to recognize its importance. If you find yourself plagued by discomfort in your back or knees, consider curling up on your side with a pillow nestled between your legs. For those wrestling with neck pain, a supportive pillow can make all the difference. Cradling your cervical vertebrae as you drift into slumber, it's a small adjustment that can yield significant benefits, yet it often goes unheeded until the pain becomes unbearable. Now let's tackle a pressing concern. Can these patches cause side effects? Generally speaking, they are safe, but if you have sensitive skin, be prepared for the possibility of itching or redness. Should this occur, remove the patch immediately and wait 2 days before trying again on a smaller area. If discomfort persists, it's wise to discontinue use altogether. For those of you living with diabetes, it's vital to inspect your feet daily. Any changes in your skin should prompt an immediate consultation with a healthcare professional. You may wonder if there are alternatives to these patches. Absolutely. Consider a soothing foot massage with essential oils such as peppermint, eucalyptus, or lavender. The experience can be incredibly beneficial, especially after soaking your feet in warm water before bedtime. However, keep in mind that the results may not be as pronounced as with patches. Typically, you can expect to notice changes within 3 days to a week, but for chronic pain sufferers, a complete recovery might take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months, depending on individual circumstances. The key? Consistency. Let's discuss efficacy. What constitutes the best patch? Products containing capsaicin, salicylate, or menthol are often highlighted for their effectiveness. Simply ask for a pain relief patch at your local pharmacy. You don't need to splurge on expensive options. And what about medication? Fear not, for these patches can be used alongside your current treatments. Many patients report a decrease in their medication intake once they incorporate patches into their regimen. However, always consult with your doctor before altering any prescribed treatment. As we delve deeper, let's reflect on something more profound. Pain is not merely a physical ailment, It seeps into our emotional fabric, affecting our ability to find joy, happiness, and meaning in life. How often do we resign ourselves to the notion that aging means we must simply endure? One of my patients once said, "When the pain subsided, my thirst for life returned." Let that sentiment resonate with you. I encourage you to take action today. Before you retire for the night, apply a patch to your foot. And please share this vital information with the loved ones who suffer from pain. It may very well transform their lives. Now, let's shift focus to the dynamics of family life. Have you ever felt that your children take you for granted or even ignore your presence? When faced with such disheartening scenarios, it's easy to succumb to anger or frustration. But allow me to assure you, this is not the path you should take. Instead, I recommend a different approach, one that promises to be effective in fostering a deeper connection. In today's world, the relationship between parents and children is fraught with challenges. As children grow older and seek independence, parents often find themselves feeling lost and bewildered. This feeling intensifies when children display disrespect or withdraw emotionally. The relationship is an ongoing journey of separation and continuous learning. In the book The Invisible Man, it is suggested that as children gain autonomy, parents may feel a profound sense of loneliness. Yet, as time passes, parents learn to adopt a more understanding stance. They often reassure their children with words like, "It's all right, don't worry, just live your life." But as our children evolve into adults, the distance between us can feel insurmountable, sometimes manifested as a lack of respect or an emotional withdrawal. It is perfectly normal to experience feelings of loss, confusion, or even disappointment when confronted with these changes. However, it's crucial not to succumb to anger or engage in endless overthinking. Keep in mind a simple 6-word mantra: do not be angry, stay calm, smile. I was particularly moved by a young man named Wang Xingxi from a well-known television program. Born into immense wealth and luxury, he found himself emotionally neglected by his perpetually busy parents. This led him down a dark path of rebellion, disrespecting everyone around him, including his own family. On his first day in a rural village for a reality show, Wang lost control and even lashed out at someone. Yet, when he arrived at his grandfather's home, the kind-hearted villagers welcomed him with open arms. Despite his disdainful attitude, a grandmother prepared a meal for him, only to be met with scornful remarks. "I, Wang Xingxi, would rather starve than eat your food," he declared. Yet, instead of reacting with anger, his grandparents greeted him with warmth and continued to cook for him. Over the course of a month spent in that nurturing environment, the unconditional love of his grandparents slowly chipped away at Wang's rebellious facade. He began to shed his resentment and hostility. Upon returning home, he became more understanding, seeking reconciliation with his parents and yearning to spend quality time with them. Eventually, he maintained contact with his village family, who celebrated his achievements and milestones. When your children disregard or overlook you, the most crucial task is to manage your emotions. Anger will not solve the problem. It will only deepen the divide. Love and warmth are the most powerful antidotes to resentment in the hearts of our children. This reminds me of a lesson shared by Dong Yuhui, a teacher who faced a noisy classroom at the start of his lesson. A girl in the front row was particularly disruptive, banging her books and coughing loudly. At that moment, the simplest solution would have been to yell at her, to dismiss her from the class. But instead, Dong chose to respond with kindness. He offered her cough medicine and encouraged her to take care of herself. Remarkably, tranquility settled over the class for the remainder of the lesson. Napoleon once asserted that those who can master their emotions wield more power than generals who conquer cities. Individuals who maintain their composure not only mitigate conflicts, but also discover more effective solutions to problems. If you desire respect and care from your children, it's essential to learn to manage your temperament. Never allow emotions to dictate your actions. Over time, a loud and authoritarian voice does not equate to being right. Sometimes, choosing silence may prove to be the most effective response. Strive for peace within your family and let time reveal who is right. Only in harmony can we overcome the inevitable challenges that life presents. Moreover, avoid arguments. Hold back your objections. Stepping back can often be the most strategic response. Benjamin Franklin famously remarked that arguments are a game between people, a peculiar game in which no one wins. Patience, especially with strangers, can often yield better results than heated exchanges. So as you navigate the complexities of family dynamics, remember that a calm demeanor can open doors to understanding and connection that would otherwise remain closed. Have you ever felt the sting of a critical word from your own parent, or found yourself lost in an argument with your child that seemed to spiral endlessly? What happens when the distance between generations turns into a chasm that feels impossible to bridge? How do we navigate the delicate dance of family relationships, especially when misunderstandings and resentment loom large? These questions linger in the air, begging for answers as we explore the intricate web of familial connections. Lin, a weary father, lamented the growing chasm between himself and his daughter. Once open and eager to share her daily experiences, she had retreated into a shell, her words met with a barrage of interruptions and dismissive jibes. "Stop playing around, you're an adult now," he would scold, oblivious to the hurt that such statements inflicted. The weight of his expectations pressed down on her like a heavy cloak, stifling her spirit. When she hesitated to speak of her career aspirations, his response was laced with critical inquiries. "Why can't you stick to one job? Why must every decision be so complicated?" In the midst of these exchanges, Lin's desire to learn something new, a simple skill like video editing, was met with impatience. There was little room for mutual understanding as frustration boiled over. "What's the point of all your education if you won't even take the time to teach me something simple?" he would bark, unaware that his daughter's willingness to share had been drowned in his relentless criticism. Each conversation, initially a flicker of hope for connection, ended in flames of anger, leaving both father and daughter isolated in their own worlds of irritation. The cycle of conflict only deepened over time. Lin's daughter, once vibrant and full of dreams, began to withdraw, her light dimming under the constant shadow of her father's judgments. The rigidity with which he approached her life became a wall that stood between them, a barrier that stifled her will to express herself. Many parents fall into a trap of harshness, too stern in their attempts to guide their children, inadvertently suffocating their spirit. The more his daughter resisted, the more Lin tightened his grip, mistaking his authority for love, which only sowed greater discord. It is crucial as parents to remain objective, especially when faced with disrespect or indifference from our children. Acknowledging our mistakes can be a powerful gesture, one that sets a positive example. If the child is wrong, wielding authority to enforce our opinions often backfires, prompting further rebellion instead of resolution. It is in the mindful restraint of our responses that we can guide our children towards introspection, teaching them to navigate their own emotional landscapes. As we ponder these dynamics, remember to like this video if you find value in its message and subscribe to Listen My Advice for more insights on creating abundance and prosperity in your life. Let us dive deeper into this journey of self-discovery and familial harmony. The most absurd notion is that disagreements revolve around who is right or wrong. In reality, the rifts between parents and children often stem from generational customs and obligations that clash like titans. Each generation carries its own burdens of experience and expectation, creating a tug-of-war that is exhausting for both sides. Young people brimming with enthusiasm, yet short on experience, may overlook the wisdom of their elders. In response, the older generation, hardened by time, could become entrenched in their beliefs, unable to adapt or reconsider. Herein lies the crux of the problem. How do we foster compassion and patience in the face of such differences? Instead of getting lost in the daily squabbles that can easily escalate, perhaps we should focus on cherishing the moments we still share. Embracing the complexities of our emotions and physical well-being, particularly as we age, is a wise path to tread. In the words of Schopenhauer, we ought to keep our private matters close to our hearts, revealing little to those who cannot see the full picture. Every household faces trials. Sharing these burdens with outsiders can often lead to mockery rather than understanding. Consider the story of a farmer named Sisia, who lived in a small village during the Qing dynasty. With 2 sons and 3 married daughters, he faced the challenges of raising children amid societal expectations. Sisia, never one for formal education, often vented his frustrations about family life to the neighbors. His sons, fearful of their father's wrath, yet often embroiled in mischief, became the subject of local gossip. The farmer's wife, weary and irritable, found solace in sharing her grievances, unwittingly tarnishing her son's reputation throughout the village. As fate would have it, when the time came for her sons to marry, no families were willing to entrust their daughters to these young men, their reputations preceding them. Ironically, despite their penchant for late-night card games, they proved responsible caretakers, tending to their ailing mother with unwavering dedication. However, as the saying goes, bad news travels far and wide, overshadowing the good. The farmer's plight not only diminished his standing in the community, but also hindered his son's chances at finding love. Children, even when they seem indifferent or disrespectful, yearn for validation from their parents. When parents resort to public criticism, it damages the child's self-esteem and can lead to feelings of shame or self-recrimination. As parents, we must strive to understand this delicate balance. Family conflicts should be resolved within the familial sphere, safeguarding our children's dignity from the prying eyes of outsiders. It is vital to maintain a culture of tolerance and support within our homes where kindness reigns over harsh judgment. A family should be a sanctuary, a refuge from the outside world. To preserve harmony and serenity within, we must protect the sacredness of our family life. Each member should uplift the other, fostering a nurturing environment where relationships can flourish over time. The process of parenting is not merely about control. It is a gradual journey of separation, growth, and learning for both the sides. The bonds we forge with our children can weather storms, transforming tumultuous moments into opportunities for deeper connection. In a truly balanced family, time is not squandered on trivial disputes or petty grievances. Understanding parents approach the emotional detachment of their children with grace, responding without anger, and recognizing that winning every argument is not the ultimate goal. The emotions of both father and mother shape their children's futures and define the family's expectations. Patience, empathy, and restraint are not just virtues. They are the bedrock upon which our homes are built. As we navigate the complexities of our lives, we should strive for greater understanding and tolerance while minimizing our criticisms and complaints. In doing so, we create an inviting and joyful home, a place where love abounds and each member feels valued. As I reflect on my own journey, I find myself at 65 having devoted a decade to caring for my daughter's children. It was a singular event that unveiled the true essence of my daughter and her husband, leaving me to ponder the intricate tapestry of family life. My name is Hazy Yu, a retired elementary school teacher, and I have spent more than 10 years enjoying the fruits of my labor, my pension, a reminder of the paths I have walked. Family is an ever-evolving narrative, one that requires patience, understanding, and above all, an unwavering commitment to cherish the ties that bind us. What does it feel like to dedicate your life to your family, only to find that your sacrifices have gone unnoticed? How far would you go to ensure your children's happiness, even at the cost of your own? And what happens when the very people you cared for turn their backs in times of need? In a modest town where the air is thick with unspoken words and suppressed emotions, a woman found herself staring into the abyss of her own loneliness. For many years, she had been a devoted wife and, after her husband's untimely demise, a nurturing mother. She had raised her daughter with love and selflessness, pouring her heart and soul into every moment. Yet, as the years slipped through her fingers like sand, she began to question her choices. Now, as the sun began to set on her own golden years, a flicker of desire for companionship sparked within her heart. After her daughter's marriage, the idea of finding a partner again had danced in her mind, a tantalizing thought. Could it be possible to share her twilight years with someone who could bring joy back into her life? However, her daughter, a fierce protector in her own right, swiftly dashed those hopes. Mother, remarrying will only turn you into a caregiver for someone else, leaving you empty-handed, she warned. It stung. The daughter she had raised was now advising her against what she had longed for, a chance at happiness. They say love can be blind, and perhaps it was this blindness that led her to ignore her daughter's fears and pursue the possibility of a new relationship with a close friend who offered companionship and understanding. Yet, torn between her own desires and her child's apprehensions, she ultimately decided to put her daughter's wishes first. After all, family bonds are complex, and the thought of jeopardizing her daughter's happiness kept her rooted in place. As the years rolled on and her daughter welcomed children into the world, she found herself trading in her dreams for a new role, one of a grandmother and caretaker. Days turned into years, and the relentless cycle of care became her new reality. Living in her daughter's home, she worked tirelessly, with no respite from the demands of family life. Gone were the days of leisurely weekends and scheduled holidays. Replaced instead by a rhythm that felt more akin to servitude. The weight of expectation pressed down upon her like an unyielding shroud. Throughout this period, her monthly allowance of 3,000 yuan barely covered her expenses. The woman learned to stretch her resources, dipping into her retirement savings just to afford the essentials. Each month felt like a battle, one she fought not just for herself, but for the family she had built. She often thought how the amount she had spent over these years could have been enough to purchase a home of her own. Yet the idea of saving for herself felt selfish. After all, her daughter was her only family left. But then, everything changed in an instant. One fateful day, while riding her moped to the market, she felt a wave of dizziness sweep over her. Before she knew it, she collided with a car. A moment of carelessness turned her world upside down. Thankfully, the driver was kind and rushed her to the hospital. But as she lay in the sterile confines of a hospital room, her mind was not on her injury. It was on the reactions of her family. She called her daughter, hoping for concern, for love, but instead, she was met with practical inquiries about compensation. "Mom, do you have the car's license plate number? We need to ensure we get reimbursed." In that moment, her heart sank. Were they really more interested in money than her well-being? Exhausted, she muttered that it was her fault. She had lost control. Her daughter and son-in-law visited her once during her hospital stay, and after that, their attentions waned. "We're busy with work," they explained, each time offering only a phone call of inquiry rather than the physical presence she so desperately needed. The days stretched on, and the woman found herself sharing a room with another elderly lady whose family visited frequently. With each meal brought in by that daughter, her own sense of isolation deepened. When the time came for her release, the financial burden of her hospital stay loomed heavy. The medical bills had soared past 30,000 yuan, leaving her to grapple with the reality that she would need to cover more than 10,000 from her limited resources. She called her daughter and son-in-law again, hoping for support, but the response she received felt like a dagger to her heart. "We wish we could help, but our salaries are modest and we have so many obligations." In that moment, her years of sacrifice and love bubbled up to the surface like a boiling pot. "After all I've done for you, all those nights spent worrying for your future, how can you turn away now?" She managed to express through the haze of disappointment. Yet, her daughter remained unmoved, insisting that she needed to understand their financial predicament. It was a turning point, a chilling realization that the mother-daughter bond she thought was indestructible had faltered. The woman came to understand that she had been a steadfast support for her daughter, but her daughter's priorities lay elsewhere, firmly rooted in her own family. The gratitude she longed for was elusive, and she was left feeling like a mere afterthought. With her heart heavy, she made a decision. On the day of her discharge, instead of calling her daughter, she reached out to her older sister. When her sister arrived with her grandchildren, the warmth and love enveloped her like a soft blanket. They welcomed her into their home, and for the first time in a long while, she felt genuinely cared for. As she healed, her sister cooked nutritious meals, and her grandchildren visited regularly, showering her with the affection that had become a distant memory. She found herself envious of the attention her sister's children lavished upon her, a stark contrast to her own daughter's indifference. It made her reflect on the nature of the worry and its toll on aging, a realization that her sister seemed to carry less of. perhaps because she had not sacrificed herself so entirely. The relationship with her daughter remained a reality that she could not change. Yet as she began to reclaim her independence, she realized that her financial support would no longer flow toward her daughter's family. She had lived for others long enough. It was time to focus on herself. At 65, she was determined to embrace life anew, recognizing it was never too late to open her eyes to the truth. In quiet moments, she thought of her own mother, who had passed away 3 years ago, and how her father had remarried a younger caregiver. She had once believed that his new marriage was a good thing, but now she questioned her own beliefs. How could she have seen love in such arrangements? It struck her that she had become so immersed in caring for her daughter that she had neglected her own needs. With renewed resolve, she vowed to live her life for herself. No longer would she be a silent pillar propping up others. Instead, she would chart her own course, with or without the support of those she had once thought would be there for her. After all, the time had come to listen to her own heart. What happens when love meets deceit? Can a caring daughter protect her father from heartbreak? Or will she inadvertently fracture the very bond she wishes to safeguard? How far should one go to shield a parent from the manipulations of a stranger cloaked in affection? My name is Su Jing, and at 52, I've crossed the threshold into a realm that feels both familiar and foreign. 2 years ago, I retired from my job, a transition that left me with a void of time, a chasm filled with the responsibilities of caring for my aging father and my still studying son. My husband continues to work, and as the only child, I find myself at the epicenter of familial obligations, a solitary jewel surrounded by the complexities of adult life. In my youth, I was showered with love and gifts, a little girl wrapped in the warmth of my parents' affection. They encouraged my aspirations, filling my days with English lessons and piano melodies, while my friends looked upon me with a tinge of envy. Yet, as the years unfurled, particularly during my mother's illness, I began to grasp the intricate web woven by familial duty. The joy of my childhood faded, giving way to the stark reality of caring for aging parents while balancing the needs of my husband and child. It often seems to me that fate is capricious, unwilling to bestow all blessings upon one soul. My youth was sprinkled with happiness, but as I entered middle age, I found myself grappling with challenges that seemed to loom larger than life. When my mother fell ill, I chose to take a long leave from my career to provide her with the care she desperately needed. My in-laws were displeased with my decision, yet my husband stood resolutely by my side, declaring that being a devoted daughter was a duty I must honor before it was too late. After my mother's passing, an urge to have my father move in with me surged within me, but he declined. I must care for the family and manage my own affairs, he insisted, opting instead for a caregiver, a decision I had my reservations about. Initially, the caregivers were elderly women, seasoned and capable enough to prepare 3 meals a day and keep things tidy. However, after retiring, I began to visit my father more frequently and noticed a change. The caregiver was now younger, and for a moment I presumed she was in her 30s. It turned out she was 48, and upon conversing with her, I sensed a certain ease in her demeanor that belied a life of hardship. Her hands, softer than my own, made me question her claim of rural toil. A flicker of suspicion ignited within me, prompting me to inquire about her background. She claimed to have come from an agency, yet when pressed for the name, she faltered. Eventually, My father confessed that she had been introduced to him by acquaintances from his hometown. This caregiver was a distant relative, a woman who had fallen on hard times after her divorce and sought refuge in this line of work. I probed further into her past, curious about her life before becoming a caregiver. She spoke of nurturing children and running a household, but the softness of her hands contradicted her words, raising my doubts even further. After leaving my father's home one evening, and I decided to gather more information, I approached a neighbor who, while unaware of much, mentioned her relation to his family. I needed clarity. Was this caregiver really 48? And had she been consistently present in my father's life? Alas, he could not confirm details, leaving me with a sense of unease. It wasn't long before my father called, urging me to return for an important discussion. With an air of excitement, he revealed his intention to marry this caregiver. He proclaimed that she brought him joy and companionship, filling a void that had lingered since my mother's death. Concerned for my father's well-being, I questioned the caregiver, suggesting she consult her children. To my surprise, she claimed she had none, having left her home post-divorce. To diffuse the tension, I suggested my father and I go to the park for a game of chess while I conversed with the caregiver. He insisted I speak in his presence, so I confronted her, asserting that I had no desire to pry into her private matters. Yet, as I pressed her, I revealed that the house inherited after my mother's death was in my name. My father's only assets were his meager pension and a modest savings of 20,000 yuan. I warned her that if she was less than truthful, I could involve the authorities or terminate her employment. The caregiver shifted uncomfortably, her facade beginning to crack. She handed me a scrap of paper filled with scribbled dates, purportedly documenting her time with my father. I remained silent, observing her closely, until she revealed her own version of the story. To clarify matters, I presented her with video footage from the surveillance cameras installed in my father's home. The evidence was damning. It showcased her presence in my father's life, her intentions cloaked in pretense. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, she gathered her belongings, her facade crumbling like old plaster. She asked for her salary for the month, and I retorted that she had only worked half the time, insisting she might earn the full amount only if she bid my father a proper farewell. She returned to the kitchen, preparing a meal for my father, aware that her ruse was on the verge of unraveling. Upon my father's return for lunch, he sensed the charged atmosphere and inquired about the cause of the tension. I indicated that the caregiver would provide him with an explanation. After the meal, I withdrew to my room, allowing them to speak privately. The caregiver seized the moment to concoct a story about her mother being hospitalized, a ploy to elicit sympathy. My father, ever generous, offered her a sum of money to aid in her purported family crisis. She declined, claiming it was unnecessary, having already received her payment for the month. As she prepared to leave, she called out to me, wishing me well. I merely nodded, refraining from following her. My father remained on the couch, a look of confusion clouding his features. I understood all too well that despite the love my parents had shared, my father too longed for companionship, a fact I could not deny. While I supported his desire for connection, I could not abide the idea of him being ensnared by someone whose intentions were rooted in deception. Ultimately, I realized that the most deceptive individuals often masquerade as the most innocent. The caregiver had been clever, leveraging her charm to weave a narrative that suited her needs And yet, despite it all, my father's heart was the collateral damage, vulnerable to the whims of a woman who had crafted her story with calculated precision. In the end, our bond as family was tested not only by the forces of time, but by the shadowy specter of betrayal. Have you ever pondered the emotional weight of revealing the truth to a caregiver? How do you navigate the delicate balance between honesty and protecting your loved one's dignity? And what if a seemingly harmless breakfast could be silently wreaking havoc on your health and well-being? In a moment of introspection, the protagonist grapples with the complexities of her father's perception of those around him, particularly a caregiver who has become an integral part of his life. The thought of disclosing the truth about this caregiver gnaws at her conscience. On one hand, silence could preserve her father's admiration and respect for her. On the other, honesty risks bruising his pride. Amid these turbulent thoughts, she finds herself contemplating her newfound freedom now that she has retired. Perhaps she could stay with her father for a couple of months more, lending him support until she decides what her next steps will be. She picks up her phone and reaches out to her husband, sharing the unfolding saga of her father's life and her role in it. She kindly asks him to converse with her in-laws, to say something nice, to sprinkle a little joy upon their day, and expresses her gratitude for his unwavering support. She reflects on the power of kind words, believing they hold the potential to weave happiness into the fabric of their lives. She realizes that when it comes to the elderly, it's vital to tread softly, to honor their feelings and dignity. After all, impulsive actions could lead to unintended wounds in the hearts of those we cherish. As she wraps up her thoughts, she feels a sense of relief wash over her. She hopes her reflections resonate with her audience. For those who choose to follow her journey, she reminds them to hit that subscribe button so they can share these moments of growth and happiness together, step by step. She believes in the strength of community, in the shared pursuit of joy and wisdom as they navigate the complexities of life. But beneath the surface of her contemplations lies another pressing issue, one that affects many elderly individuals: food choices and their repercussions on health. The woman acknowledges that while she and her father must maintain sufficient hydration and protein intake, persistent discomfort remains a looming specter. For numerous elderly people, the source of such discomfort does not necessarily lie in the food itself, but rather in the combinations they consume. One of the most unexpected pairings that could trigger chronic inflammation and pain in the legs is the beloved combination of eggs with certain other foods. But why should the elderly be cautious about mixing eggs with various ingredients? Eggs, often heralded as a superfood, are rich in protein, vitamins such as B12, and important compounds like choline. They support brain function, muscle recovery, and provide vital energy to the body. However, as individuals age, their bodies become increasingly sensitive to inflammatory triggers, especially as digestion slows and the immune system weakens. For those over 60, specific food combinations, particularly those involving eggs, can quietly provoke inflammation. This can lead to discomfort in the legs, joint stiffness, and even swelling in vulnerable areas like the ankles, knees, or feet. Inflammation may exacerbate arthritis symptoms, negatively impact nerve function, and restrict mobility, outcomes that no one wishes to confront in their golden years. With this in mind, let's explore 6 food pairings that should be avoided when consuming eggs, as their consequences may be graver than one might initially think. The first on this list is processed meats, bacon, sausages, and ham. For many elderly Americans, the enticing aroma of sizzling bacon in the morning transcends mere breakfast. It evokes nostalgia, comfort, and routine. For decades, eggs paired with sausages or ham have been a classic start to the day. But what if this cherished combination is stealthily contributing to discomfort in the legs, inflammation in the knees, and joint stiffness? Processed meats, laden with sodium, nitrates, chemical additives, and saturated fats, pose a threat not only to cardiovascular health, but also can trigger significant inflammatory responses, especially in individuals over 60. As the body ages, its ability to absorb and process these substances diminishes, resulting in heightened inflammation, particularly in the joints and muscles of the lower body, where circulation may already be compromised. Now, consider eggs. While they are nutritious on their own, they also contain sulfur compounds that, when combined with nitrates from processed meats, can elevate uric acid levels in the blood. Excess uric acid is a well-known precursor to symptoms resembling gout, inducing inflammation, redness, and pain, particularly in the knees and feet. You may not even realize that your symptoms stem from your breakfast, appearing instead as a slow accumulation of discomfort throughout the day. Beyond the physical toll, this subtle inflammation diminishes mobility, increasing the risk of falls and even leading to emotional fatigue from the persistent unease. Such a diet not only depletes energy, but jeopardizes one's independence. So the next time you crave the rich taste of bacon, pause to consider, are those fleeting moments of culinary pleasure worth the potential for a longer-term discomfort? And what about that innocent slice of toast or bagel you've enjoyed alongside your eggs? Perhaps they too contribute to the inflammatory cascade. If you find these insights valuable, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're still engaged. Now, let's move to the second item on our list. Before continuing, don't forget to like this video if you're finding it useful, and subscribe to my channel for more insightful tips on attracting abundance and prosperity into your life. Next, we delve into the realm of refined carbohydrates. White bread, bagels, muffins. Few things are as delightful as a warm toast, a buttery bagel, or a fluffy muffin paired with eggs for breakfast. For many, these foods symbolize comfort, simplicity, and the warmth of home. However, as we age, it's essential to consider not only taste, but also how such foods impact our bodies, particularly concerning our legs, joints, and energy levels. Refined carbohydrates like white bread and muffins are stripped of fiber and nutrients. Upon entering the body, they quickly convert to sugar, leading to a sharp spike in blood glucose levels. The immune system perceives this spike as a potential threat, releasing inflammatory substances as a defense mechanism. Over time, these substances can damage the soft tissues of the joints, especially in areas prone to stress, such as the knees and ankles. For elderly individuals whose circulatory and metabolic systems naturally slow down, these fluctuations in blood sugar become increasingly perilous. The inflammation triggered by refined carbohydrates is not temporary. Rather, it establishes a chronic presence in the body, settling into the legs and making every step feel heavier, more painful, or downright exhausting. When eggs, rich in protein and fats, are consumed alongside refined carbohydrates, the digestive process slows even further. This results in an accumulation of inflammation within the intestine, which can then spread through the bloodstream, often reaching the joints that may already be weakened by age or arthritis. While a seemingly innocent indulgence in a slice of white bread topped with an omelet may appear harmless, it could be a hidden contributor to morning stiffness or swollen feet by day's end. But if refined carbohydrates pose a risk, what about that soft, enticing layer of melted cheese many sprinkle over their eggs? Let's explore the third item on our list: cheese, particularly processed and melted varieties. Few culinary experiences rival the pleasure of a cheesy omelet or a fried egg crowned with gooey cheese. For many elderly people, cheese has long been a source of comfort, soft, delicious, and familiar. Yet few recognize that this seemingly innocuous addition can quietly exacerbate the pain and stiffness they confront daily. As we age, our bodies become increasingly predisposed to inflammation. Unfortunately, processed cheeses, commonly enjoyed at breakfast, contain numerous components that can negatively affect the joints and muscles, primarily in the lower body. Processed and melted cheeses are often high in saturated fats, artificial additives, and casein, a milk protein that can trigger inflammatory responses in individuals over 60 with weakened digestive systems. As digestion slows with age, the repercussions of our food choices can become magnified, creating a ripple effect that impacts overall well-being. It's crucial to be mindful of what we put on our plates, understanding that every meal is an opportunity to nourish or harm our bodies. Each bite is a choice, a step towards health or a stride toward discomfort. So, as you sit down for breakfast, think not just of the flavors, but of the potential consequences. Let's embrace the journey of mindful eating together, ensuring that our choices bolster our health rather than compromise it. Have you ever wondered why a simple breakfast can turn your day into an exercise in discomfort? Are you tired of waking up to a body that feels like it's been through a battle overnight? What if the very foods you consider nourishing could be stealthily undermining your health? The truth is that seemingly innocent cheese and egg combination might be the culprit lurking in the shadows of your breakfast plate. Prepare yourself for a journey into the world of hidden dietary dangers that could be wreaking havoc on your joints and overall well-being. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving, and digesting heavy meals morphs into a Herculean task. Picture this: a hearty breakfast featuring eggs and cheese, packed with protein, yet your stomach feels like a cramped elevator, struggling to accommodate its load. This is no mere discomfort. It's a signal from your body, hinting at potential inflammation that can manifest as swollen knees or aching calves, particularly after a meal or upon waking. Each step you take feels heavier, as if the very act of walking has morphed into a daunting challenge. The simple pleasures, such as a leisurely stroll to the mailbox or tending to your garden, transform into laborious quests. And what if the key to this discomfort lies not in your exercise routine or the weather, but rather in what you choose to eat for breakfast? You might be surprised to learn that cheese isn't the only villain in this culinary drama. Enter the nightshade vegetables: tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, and eggplants. Once heralded as essential health foods, now cast in a more dubious light. Throughout our lives, we've been indoctrinated with the belief that vegetables are synonymous with health. Yet, for older adults, particularly those grappling with joint stiffness or arthritis, this isn't universally true. The vibrant hues of nightshades might entice your palate, but for some, they can trigger a barrage of joint pain, especially in the legs knees, and feet. Nightshades contain a natural compound called solanine, which can wreak havoc on the nervous system and intensify inflammation in susceptible individuals. As we age, our bodies lose their ability to efficiently filter and expel such compounds. If the kidneys or liver are not operating at peak performance, the situation worsens, leading to a buildup of solanine that can irritate soft tissues, cause inflammation, and create a sense of burning discomfort. Often, the symptoms are confused with arthritis or nerve damage, as the telltale signs emerge most prominently in the mornings or after meals. You may not immediately connect a few slices of tomato in your omelette with the heaviness in your legs hours later, but your body undoubtedly makes that link. If you're experiencing joint discomfort without a clear explanation, despite adhering to a supposedly balanced diet, it might be time to take a closer look at what you're putting on your plate. Yet the threats don't end with nightshades. Consider the seemingly harmless addition of a dollop of jam or a splash of fruit juice to your breakfast. What might seem like a small indulgence could harbor a deeper danger. Even a modest amount of added sugar can introduce insidious harm to an aging body, impacting not just blood sugar levels, but manifesting as very real physical pain that often resides in the legs and joints. Our bodies become less adept at processing sugar as we grow older, and the once innocent treat can ignite inflammation that echoes through our sensitive tissues. Upon entering the bloodstream, sugar can trigger sharp spikes in glucose and insulin levels, setting off a chain reaction that leads to inflammation around joints and blood vessels. Over time, this results in a process known as glycation, where sugar molecules bond with proteins in the body, leading to stiffened tissues and damaged cartilage. You may not associate that spoonful of jam with the tingling in your feet or the burning in your calves, but your body is acutely aware. For older individuals, especially those struggling with diabetes or circulation issues, sugar does more than sweeten the deal. It stealthily contributes to deterioration, slowing healing processes and undermining immune function. And it doesn't stop there. The cooking fats you choose can also harbor hidden dangers. The margarine or artificial butter, substitutes once thought to be healthier options, can in fact be more harmful than their traditional counterparts. For years, society has promoted margarine as a modern miracle in health, yet recent studies tell a different story. Many elderly individuals have switched to these substitutes, convinced they are making a beneficial choice for their health. However, what modern research reveals is alarming. All those trans fats created through the hydrogenation process are far from harmless. These artificial fats are among the most pernicious ingredients lurking in your breakfast. They can exacerbate inflammation and contribute to arterial stiffness, complicating the body's ability to absorb essential nutrients. Frequent consumption of these fats, particularly when heated, say while frying eggs or slathering on toast, can elevate oxidative stress levels, further degrading collagen in joints and impeding circulation in the legs. The consequences for the elderly can be dire: numbness, discomfort in the calves, joint pain, or even sudden cramps. Often these symptoms are wrongly attributed to aging or poor circulation, while the true culprit may lie in the choice of cooking oil used for breakfast. What's most concerning is that the deterioration is often silent, accumulating over time, making it difficult to relate discomfort back to its initial cause. It's not merely a matter of cholesterol anymore. It's about inflammation, mobility, and long-term health outcomes. The ability to move freely without fear of falling or fatigue is paramount. As you begin to recognize the impact of certain foods on your well-being, embarking on this journey of self-discovery could be the key to reclaiming not only your health, but your joy in everyday living. Embrace the knowledge, for awareness is the first step towards transformation. Your breakfast choices may hold the power to either uplift or undermine your quality of life. Remember, your body is listening, and it's time to pay attention. Have you ever wondered why the foods you've cherished for years might be silently sabotaging your health? Is that delicious breakfast really the comforting routine you think it is? Or has it become an insidious source of pain? And what if I told you that small changes in your dietary habits could dramatically improve your quality of life? Welcome to a conversation that could reshape your mornings, your meals, and ultimately your wellness. Picture this. You wake up, ready to embrace the day, but as soon as you step out of bed, a familiar sensation creeps in. Stiffness in your joints, a twinge in your knees, and an inexplicable heaviness in your legs. You shrug it off, attributing it to the relentless march of time. But what if the real culprit lies not in your age, but in your breakfast choices? Foods that once felt harmless could be weaving a web of chronic inflammation, setting the stage for a cascade of health issues that loom ever larger as the years pass. As we grow older, our bodies undergo profound transformations. Metabolism slows to a crawl, and our digestive systems become increasingly sensitive. What once seemed like a minor inconvenience, a little heaviness in the stomach after a meal, can evolve into a much larger problem. Those familiar combinations of eggs and bacon, toast slathered with jam, or cheese-laden delights might masquerade as staple comforts, yet they can inflict more harm than good on aging bodies. The combination of certain foods may unknowingly elevate blood sugar levels, increase uric acid, and usher in a host of inflammatory substances that wreak havoc on our joints and soft tissues. Imagine the older adult, blissfully unaware of the connection between their beloved breakfast and their morning discomfort. Each meal becomes a silent negotiation with their health, where every bite could either soothe the soul or ignite a storm of inflammation. Arthritis, muscle pain, and the unshakable weight of fatigue become familiar companions. Yet, amidst this struggle, there lies a glimmer of hope. The good news is that you wield more power over your health than you might think. By simply reevaluating what you pair with your eggs, you can transform a potential health hazard into a nourishing powerhouse. Eggs are a remarkable source of protein and packed with essential nutrients that can bolster brain health, muscle strength, and energy levels. The secret lies in mindful combinations. Instead of pairing your eggs with processed meats or refined carbohydrates, consider a plate filled with vibrant greens like spinach, kale, or arugula sautéed in olive oil. These ingredients not only taste divine, but also possess anti-inflammatory properties that nurture your body. Moreover, think of incorporating creamy avocado, a natural alternative to cheese, brimming with healthy fats that fortify your joints. Opt for quality carbohydrates like quinoa or sweet potatoes, which provide sustained energy without the detrimental spikes in blood sugar that can lead to inflammation. Even how you choose to prepare your eggs can make a difference. Steaming or poaching them in a drizzle of olive or coconut oil can work wonders, while frying in margarine or dousing them in salt and sauces could spell trouble. This shift isn't about deprivation, rather it's about subtle alterations that yield significant rewards. Eating mindfully allows you to relish your favorite flavors without sacrificing your well-being. The essence of this journey is the recognition that your choices shape your health narrative. Each meal is a step, a decision, one that can lead you toward a life filled with movement, independence, and joy. As you navigate these changes, remember that your relationship with food is a dialogue, a conversation between your past and the potential of your future. Each meal you prepare is a reflection of your history, but also a choice that influences your path forward. You may find that the more prudent decisions you make at the dining table translate into fewer medications cluttering your nightstand, fewer mornings spent grappling with discomfort. If you find yourself grappling with mysterious aches in your legs, swelling in your joints, or a sense that your body is no longer keeping pace with your aspirations, it's time to reconsider your breakfast. Approach it not just as a routine, but as a pivotal factor in your health. Eggs can remain a staple, but only if they are accompanied by the right partners. Your body is always listening, always responding to what you feed it. And remember, it's never too late to alter the trajectory of your story. Transform your meals into allies rather than obstacles. Allow breakfast to become a gentle act of self-care, a promise to your knees, hips, and feet that you are choosing life, movement, and autonomy. Because regardless of whether you are in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, what you place on your plate still holds profound significance. You matter, and so do your choices. Now, let's take a moment for reflection. Consider what insights you've gleaned from this discussion and how you might weave them into the fabric of your daily life. Together, let's support one another on this path to a healthier, more vibrant existence. If this material resonates with you, share your thoughts and recommendations for healthy living for older adults in the comments. But if it didn't speak to you, feel free to express that as well. Your voice matters, and your feedback is invaluable. Thank you for taking this journey with us. Let's embrace life with intention and vigor, savoring each moment as we see fit. And as we turn the page to our next discussion, consider this. Have you ever experienced persistent itching in certain areas of your body, wondering what it might signify? You are not alone. In our upcoming video, we will delve into an essential topic: the 3 areas of itching in older adults that could indicate a shortened lifespan. Understanding these signals could profoundly impact your health. So stay tuned as we explore how to identify these warning signs and what proactive steps you can take to address them. Your health matters, and being informed is the first step toward taking charge. Don't miss out on this valuable information. Have you ever considered that a seemingly innocuous itch could be a harbinger of something far more sinister? What if the discomfort you brush off as trivial is actually a signal from your body pleading for your attention? And while we often think of genetics as the ultimate determinant of longevity, could it be that our everyday choices wield far more power over how long we live? Imagine a woman named Miss Chun, an ordinary 60-year-old who, like many of us, might dismiss an itch as a mere nuisance. For months, she endured a persistent itch that began in the crisp air of September, a minor irritation she initially shrugged off. But as the chill of winter tightened its grip, this minor annoyance transformed into an unbearable torment. Despite her valiant attempts to soothe the itch with lotions and ointments, relief remained elusive. To her horror, she also noticed an inexplicable weight loss, a shadow looming over her well-being that intensified her anxiety. Finally, desperation drove Miss June to seek medical advice, a decision that would change her life forever. The results of her examination were startling. That seemingly trivial itch was not just a benign irritation, but a sign of lymphoma. The stark realization struck her. She had never imagined that the simple act of itching could be connected to such a grave illness. This unsettling connection serves as a poignant reminder of the subtle ways our bodies communicate distress, highlighting the importance of listening closely to the whispers and signals that often go unnoticed. Lymphoma, a type of cancer that affects lymphocytes, those vital white blood cells integral to our immune system, can insidiously establish its presence anywhere in the body, including the most unexpected places like our hair and nails. In the case of lymphoma, malignant lymphocytes can unleash biologically active compounds like histamine into the bloodstream, which can then travel throughout the body and reach the skin, igniting a relentless and often debilitating itch. Research suggests that around 1 in 5 individuals diagnosed with lymphoma may experience some degree of skin itching, a symptom that is both uncomfortable and a critical indicator deserving of attention. Thus, if you find yourself plagued by an unyielding itch that defies typical treatment methods, it may be time to consider the possibility that lymphoma is at play. This itch, particularly when coupled with other alarming signs, should serve as a crucial prompt to seek further medical investigation. Beyond the realm of itching skin, tumors in the lymphatic system can manifest in a variety of distressing symptoms, such as the persistent enlargement of lymph nodes, fevers that seem to come out of nowhere, night sweats that drench the bed, inexplicable pain, significant weight loss, and even anemia. Each of these symptoms, whether appearing alone or in combination, may provide essential clues regarding the presence of lymphatic tumors. Differentiating between ordinary itching and that which could signal cancer can be a daunting task. Cancer-related itching often emerges abruptly, without warning, starkly contrasting with the more common and benign forms of itchiness we encounter. Furthermore, this particular itch is typically stubborn, resistant to standard treatments, and it persists even in the face of over-the-counter remedies. Strangely enough, the skin may appear entirely normal, free from rashes or eczema, irrespective of the weather conditions. Recognizing these characteristics can be a vital tool in assessing the severity of your symptoms and determining the necessity of a timely consultation with a medical professional. Now, imagine that you are experiencing signs that point toward lymphoma, or perhaps your itch continues despite diligent attempts at treatment. It is imperative that you seek medical advice without delay, for early detection and appropriate intervention can pave the path to better outcomes. While skin itching is common and often harmless, a persistent itch that resists conventional remedies could signify underlying health concerns that demand your attention. Among the most important areas to monitor for troublesome itching are the armpits, a site where discomfort can be particularly revealing. Itching in this region may suggest diabetes, a condition that extends beyond mere glucose management and dietary constraints. Elevated sugar levels can disrupt the delicate balance of skin nerves and the autonomic nervous system, leading to an array of unsavory symptoms. One frequently overlooked consequence is dry skin, resulting from decreased sweat and oil production. This dryness, in turn, can trigger persistent itching, creating a complicated layer of challenge for those navigating daily life with diabetes. For individuals grappling with excess weight, the situation may become further exacerbated. Excessive sweating in the armpits may foster an environment ripe for bacterial and fungal growth, intensifying discomfort and itching. Such issues can be particularly pronounced during the dry, cold months of autumn and winter, when natural skin moisture is already diminished. The itching associated with diabetes can be especially concerning, as it often presents without overt signs like red spots or bumps. Instead, it manifests as an unending irritation that may spread beyond the armpits to other areas of the body, leading to an emotional toll that belies its physical nature. The ongoing struggle with itching, coupled with the general challenges of managing diabetes, underscores the necessity for compassionate and comprehensive health care. If you've gleaned valuable insights from this discussion, I encourage you to express your gratitude in the comment section below. And before we delve deeper, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Listen my advice for more enlightening tips on inviting abundance and prosperity into your life. Continuing on our journey, let's turn our attention to another area fraught with discomfort: the anal region. Itching here can be acutely distressing, often signaling deeper issues related to anal and rectal health. This form of itching transcends mere irritation. It can drastically impact one's quality of life. What begins as a slight itch can escalate into a pervasive torment if left unaddressed. The intensity of the itching may increase, often becoming particularly pronounced at night, robbing you of peace and rest. For many, the struggle with persistent anal itching is not just a physical ordeal, but also an emotional burden. The insistent urge to scratch can become not only uncomfortable, but exhausting, distracting you from daily tasks and robbing you of a full night's sleep. Conditions such as hemorrhoids, anal fissures, rectal cancer, and anal cancer frequently underlie this discomfort. Hemorrhoids, with their inflamed and painful veins, can create a relentless cycle of itching that feels never-ending. Anal fissures, with their constant secretions, only serve to amplify the itchiness. Even more concerning are the possibilities of rectal and anal cancers, which can present similar symptoms while also raising alarms through signs like bleeding, severe pain, or notable changes in bowel habits. It is essential to recognize the profound emotional impact that chronic painful symptoms can have. The influence of these issues extends far beyond physical discomfort, shaping one's self-esteem and overall well-being. If you find yourself facing such challenges, know that you are not alone. It is crucial to seek help and to listen to the signals that your body is sending you. Remember, awareness and early intervention can be powerful allies in the quest for health and longevity. Are you tired of that persistent itch that seems to haunt you in the most inconvenient moments? Have you ever found yourself desperately seeking relief from a discomfort that just won't go away? What if I told you that the key to regaining your peace of mind lies in understanding the underlying causes of these nagging sensations? Imagine this: a relentless itch in the anal area that grows increasingly bothersome over time, impacting your daily life in ways you never thought possible. It's essential to consult a medical professional at the first sign of such symptoms. Early diagnosis is crucial not only for identifying the root cause, but also for alleviating the discomfort and restoring a sense of normalcy and tranquility. But what about itching in the genital region, particularly among women? This unfortunate yet common issue can stem from a variety of gynecological conditions, each more perplexing than the last. Conditions such as vaginitis, vulvar eczema, genital warts, and scabies can all lead to that irritating itch. Each of these ailments presents its own unique set of symptoms and causes. Take vulvitis, for example. It's an inflammation affecting the vulva, the outer portion of the female genitalia. This condition often arises when the delicate balance of the vaginal microbiome is disturbed. An imbalance allows harmful bacteria or pathogens to proliferate, igniting a cascade of inflammatory reactions that manifest as an incessant itch, accompanied by redness and swelling of the vulva. Besides the itch, vulvitis may bring forth a host of other troublesome symptoms, including pain or a burning sensation. These symptoms can intensify during activities like urination or bowel movements, further compounding the discomfort. In a futile attempt to find relief, one might succumb to the instinct to scratch the affected area, but this often only exacerbates the sensation, creating a vicious cycle of irritation and worsening the condition. Other gynecological issues that could be the culprits behind genital itching include vaginitis, which involves inflammation of the vaginal mucosa, and scabies, a parasitic infestation that can target this sensitive area. Furthermore, eczema and genital warts could also contribute to this uncomfortable predicament. To tackle itching in the genital region, it is vital to identify and address the underlying cause. A precise diagnosis from a healthcare professional is necessary for determining the appropriate treatment and effectively alleviating the symptoms. As we shift our focus to another common area of concern, the lower legs, it is worth noting that itching in this region could be indicative of hypothyroidism. This condition arises when the thyroid gland fails to produce sufficient thyroid hormones, which play a crucial role in regulating metabolism. A deficiency in these hormones can lead to various effects, including dry skin. When thyroid hormone levels drop, the skin loses its natural moisture, resulting in a dry, rough texture that is susceptible to discomfort. The lower legs, in particular, are prone to these changes due to a scarcity of sebaceous and sweat glands that typically aid in keeping the skin hydrated and healthy. The discomfort caused by itching related to hypothyroidism can become particularly intense during the dry seasons at the end of the year, as the atmosphere loses its moisture, exacerbating skin dehydration and heightening the risk of itchiness. The skin on the lower legs may not only feel parched, but also appear flaky, cold to the touch, and pallid. This irritating itch might be accompanied by an unusual tingling sensation, further intensifying the discomfort and creating a persistent sense of unease in the lower legs. It is crucial to distinguish that itching resulting from hypothyroidism has distinctive characteristics compared to other causes. While dry itching is often associated with age-related changes, as the skin naturally becomes drier over time, moist itching frequently points to underlying health concerns that affect the skin's ability to retain moisture. If you find yourself grappling with persistent and intense itching that worsens with the seasonal changes in your lower legs, seeking medical advice is essential. Early intervention for hypothyroidism can significantly alleviate symptoms, improve skin condition, and enhance overall well-being. Dr. Wong, a respected deputy chief of dermatology at Wangjing Hospital, associated with the Chinese Academy of Traditional Medicine, provides invaluable insights into the various types of itching and their underlying causes. According to Dr. Wong, itching can be classified into dry and moist categories, each reflecting different conditions and requiring tailored treatment approaches. Dry itching is often observed among the elderly, characterized by dry and rough skin with possible signs of flaking. This type of itching is commonly linked to the natural aging process, which leads to a significant decrease in sweat and oil production by the glands. As years pass, the skin becomes increasingly vulnerable to external elements such as dry air or inadequate hydration, resulting in heightened dryness and consequently an aggravation of itching. The diminished ability of the skin to retain moisture amplifies these symptoms, making dry itching a prevalent issue for many older individuals. Conversely, moist itching is often associated with various underlying health issues such as liver and kidney dysfunction, elevated blood sugar levels, or excessive moisture in areas like the perineum and anus. When the liver and kidneys fail to function efficiently, their capacity to eliminate toxins from the body diminishes, leading to an accumulation of harmful substances that can damage the skin, rendering it dark, rough, and swollen. In some instances, this may result in secondary infections such as folliculitis and lymphangitis, which can cause additional complications and leave lasting marks. Although scratching may provide temporary relief from itching, it does not address the underlying cause. Persistent scratching can exacerbate the situation, resulting in redness, thickened skin, and raised lesions. Such damage may lead to pigmentation changes, bleeding, and an increased risk of secondary infections, potentially compounding the damage and leading to scarring. To effectively treat and mitigate itching, Dr. Wong emphasizes the necessity of addressing lifestyle factors contributing to the condition, making adjustments to daily habits such as increasing skin hydration, avoiding known irritants, and managing underlying health conditions can be pivotal in reducing itching and maintaining skin health. So, how can you prevent dry itching? Unlike moist itching, dry itching is a more frequent occurrence in daily life, particularly during the dry autumn and winter months. Not only the elderly are susceptible to dry itching, even younger individuals who neglect proper skin care may encounter this problem. To stave off the discomfort of dry skin itching, consider implementing a few key strategies. Begin by evaluating your diet, paying attention to the kinds of food you consume. Limit your intake of fatty foods, sugars, spicy items, and raw or cold dishes while increasing your consumption of manganese-rich foods such as radishes, cabbage, and sweet potatoes, as well as vitamins found in liver, carrots, potatoes, and mushrooms. Enhance your skincare routine, ensure ample sleep, refrain from scratching, and wash with cool water. To maintain hydration, reduce the frequency of baths during the autumn-winter period, and after showering, apply lotion or moisturizing cream to lock in moisture. Adjust the necessary conditions in inhospitable environments. Identify the sources of itching and avoid triggers whenever possible. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it has proven to be both informative and useful to you. What insights have you gleaned about the significance of these factors that cause itching and their potential impacts on health? I invite you to share an important lesson or piece of advice that you plan to incorporate into your life in the comments below. Your feedback is invaluable to us as we strive to create content that resonates with you. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Listen my advice to stay updated on new essential health tips and insights. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In my upcoming installment, I will share scientific facts, remarkable benefits, and debunk some myths about how self-examination can profoundly impact your health for years to come. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos. Your support means the world. Have you ever wondered why intimacy seems to slip through our fingers as we grow older? Does the thought of losing that spark make you feel anxious or defeated? What if I told you that the journey of self-exploration could not only reignite that flame, but also transform your relationship with pleasure itself? As we traverse the winding paths of life, both men and women inevitably encounter profound and often unspoken challenges when it comes to maintaining emotional closeness and an active sexual life. It's a topic that dives deep into the essence of who we are, yet remains cloaked in silence. Too often, we fall prey to the misconception that sexual desire simply dwindles as the years pile on, leaving us disconnected from a vital part of ourselves that once brought immense satisfaction. But this narrative is misleading. In truth, our bodies and minds evolve over time, and rather than fading away, the desire for intimacy invites us to discover new avenues for pleasure and connection. With age, our longing does not extinguish. Rather, it beckons us to re-examine our sensuality through a fresh lens. This transformation can be both beautiful and liberating, ushering in a phase of self-discovery that society has long scrutinized. What was once deemed taboo is now recognized as a powerful source of physical and emotional wellness. Embracing self-exploration is not a sign of weakness or shame. It is, in fact, one of the most intimate and healing acts of self-love, particularly as we navigate the complexities of aging. Imagine rediscovering yourself in ways you never considered before, learning what brings you joy, what awakens your senses, and what reassures you that your body is still capable of experiencing profound and fulfilling pleasure. Self-exploration is not a mere physical act. It serves as a vital pathway to establish an emotional connection with oneself. It nurtures our mental health, alleviates stress, and releases those precious happiness hormones that remind us of the vibrant energy that resides within us. At this juncture in life, embracing self-exploration means reconnecting with that part of us that may have been neglected or forgotten. It invites us to care for our bodies, respect our desires, and acknowledge that pleasure, regardless of its expression, is a gift we all deserve. Let us delve into the myriad benefits that self-exploration can offer, not just to our bodies, but to our overall sense of well-being. As the years unfold, both men and women frequently grapple with deeply personal and sometimes painful challenges when it comes to sustaining intimacy or a fulfilling sexual life. This struggle can stir a whirlwind of emotions, from disappointment and sorrow to a profound sense of loss. For many, closeness has always been synonymous with connection and bonding with another person. However, as our bodies change, our energy levels fluctuate, or health concerns arise, it becomes all too easy to feel that something essential is slipping away. We may even convince ourselves of the falsehood that sexual desire naturally diminishes with age. Allow me to clarify. This notion could not be further from the truth. What truly occurs as we grow older is a vital need to adapt. Our bodies and minds undergo transformations, and it becomes imperative to adjust the ways in which we engage with ourselves and our partners. It's not about loss, it's about the opportunity to rediscover what pleasure and intimacy mean at this new stage of life. This journey towards self-discovery can be powerful and even beautiful. Rather than surrendering to the idea of losing something so critical to our emotional and physical well-being, we have the chance to find fresh ways to interact with our bodies. One of the most misunderstood aspects of aging is the vital importance of self-exploration, particularly for the elderly. In reality, self-exploration is not just beneficial, it is essential. It represents a form of self-care that helps us maintain harmony with our bodies, continue to feel joy and pleasure, and remind ourselves that we are alive, capable of experiencing beauty and fulfillment even in moments of solitude. Self-exploration transcends mere physical gratification. It reflects the investment of time to connect with our bodies, to understand what brings us comfort, pleasure, and what stirs our senses. It is a deeply personal affirmation of our value. I am worthy. My body is valuable. My pleasure matters. As we age, self-exploration can take on unprecedented significance. It allows us to maintain a connection to our sexuality that feels safe and soothing, without shame or guilt. Within this practice lies tremendous power. Consider that as we grow older, many aspects of our lives may slow down, yet our need for pleasure and connection with ourselves endures. Intimacy is intrinsic to our human nature, and even if we are not as physically active as we once were, that does not mean we have to forfeit what makes us feel truly alive. Self-exploration can help us sustain our bond with our inner selves, reminding us that our bodies still deserve care and attention, regardless of age. One of the most significant benefits of self-exploration, especially at this stage in life, is its ability to reduce stress and anxiety. As the years pass, we often carry the burdens of the world, worries about health, family, finances, or simply the passage of time. Yet, by dedicating time to self-exploration, we release happiness hormones like endorphins and oxytocin, which not only elevate our mood, but also help us feel more focused and balanced. This becomes a moment of relief from the daily pressures, a period dedicated to focusing solely on ourselves and what brings us joy. Let us not overlook the physical advantages. Self-exploration keeps our bodies moving, our muscles active, and our circulation flowing. Moreover, it aids in preserving sexual function, allowing us to maintain a connection with our sexuality even as our bodies undergo changes over time. It's a means to rekindle that spark, even if it manifests differently from our younger days. However, perhaps the greatest value lies in the emotional connection we can forge with ourselves. Self-exploration is a profound act of self-love, a way to treat ourselves with kindness while reminding us that we still deserve to experience joy and happiness. This process serves as a return to a part of ourselves that society may have suggested we leave behind, and within this reclamation lies a tremendous sense of personal power. If you are still watching this video and find these insights valuable, please leave a comment with the number 1 below so that I know you're here with me. In a world that often sidelines the elderly, self-exploration stands as a bold declaration: I am still here, I am still important, my body and my pleasure still hold value. This deeply personal gesture reminds us that regardless of our age, we are all entitled to love, pleasure, and attention, especially from ourselves. So as you navigate this stage of life, remember that self-exploration is not something to be ashamed of. Rather, it is a cause for celebration. It is a crucial tool for nurturing your physical health and emotional well-being. A means to embrace this phase with open arms, knowing that your body is still capable of giving you moments of great joy. Let us take a closer look at the numerous benefits that self-exploration can offer and why it should become an integral part of your self-care routine as you progress through life. You may be astonished at how transformative this practice can be. One of the most profound yet frequently overlooked benefits of self-exploration is its potential impact on reducing the risk of prostate cancer. Surprisingly, something as natural as regular ejaculation can have a significant effect on our health. Recent studies have indicated that men who engage in frequent ejaculation, whether with a partner or through self-exploration, experience notable health advantages. So, as you embark on this journey of self-discovery, let the act of self-exploration remind you not just of your physical vitality, but of your enduring worth. Your pleasure, your joy, and your connection to yourself are treasures that deserve to be unearthed and celebrated now and always. Have you ever considered the connection between your pleasure and your health? What if I told you that something as simple as self-exploration could dramatically reduce your risk of prostate cancer? Can such an intimate act truly serve as a powerful shield against ailments affecting so many men? And for women, what if the key to alleviating discomfort in your pelvic area lies within the very act of self-discovery? Intrigued? Let's unravel the myriad benefits of self-exploration, not just as a source of pleasure, but as a profound act of self-care that can rejuvenate your body and mind. There is mounting evidence suggesting that men over the age of 40 who regularly engage in ejaculation may lower their risk of prostate cancer by a staggering 30%. Just think about that for a moment. A simple, natural action could provide such significant protection against a disease that afflicts countless individuals. We cannot afford to ignore this statistic. The importance of this advantage is irrefutable, especially considering that prostate cancer remains one of the most common forms of cancer among men. Research indicates that self-exploration not only satisfies a physical need, but also acts as a proactive measure towards maintaining your health. It is astonishing how our bodies possess the innate ability to heal themselves when given the right opportunity. Frequent ejaculation serves as a means of flushing out toxins and reducing the buildup of potentially harmful substances in the prostate, acting as a natural cleansing mechanism. This benefit is not exclusive to younger men. It carries significant weight as we age. With all the anxieties that arise with the passing years, the realization that we can take control of our health is incredibly reassuring. Self-exploration transforms into not merely a pleasurable experience, but a proactive approach to sustaining our well-being. Similarly, women also encounter their own unique benefits through self-exploration, particularly in the realm of physical health. Even though menopause may signal the end of menstrual cycles, many older women still experience symptoms reminiscent of those cycles or discomfort in the pelvic region. In this context, self-discovery can prove to be immensely beneficial. This practice can alleviate stagnation in the pelvic area, which may accumulate over time and lead to discomfort. Moreover, it promotes a normal blood flow within this vital region, encouraging relaxation and alleviating pain. One of the most remarkable advantages of self-exploration is its ability to ease menstrual cramps. For older women who may still experience periodic symptoms, self-stimulation can function as a natural pain reliever. The release of endorphins during orgasm acts as an analgesic, helping to reduce cramps and elevate mood. Imagine having a tool at your disposal that not only offers pleasure, but also alleviates discomfort in such an intimate manner. This is a truth every woman should know and cherish. Beyond the physical advantages for both men and women lies the profound mental well-being that arises from the practice of self-exploration. It transcends mere instant physical release, embodying a deeper level of self-care. It serves as a reminder that we can still experience pleasure and engage meaningfully with our bodies. This connection helps to ease stress, boost self-esteem, and imbue us with a sense of tranquility and relaxation. So whether you are a man reducing the risk of prostate cancer or a woman alleviating pelvic discomfort, self-exploration emerges as an effective and natural means to enhance your health and well-being. It is about valuing your body and accepting that even as the years go by, there is much to celebrate in our physical forms. Embracing this reality can lead to a longer, healthier, and more joyous life. A lack of frequent orgasms can impact our physical health more than many realize, particularly concerning the pelvic region. When circulation in this sensitive area is insufficient, it can result in a variety of unpleasant symptoms, such as feelings of heaviness, tension, and even severe pain. This is a problem that often remains unspoken, yet it can significantly affect our quality of life, especially as we grow older. Self-stimulation, by promoting circulation in this delicate zone, becomes an essential tool in combating these discomforts. It helps maintain pelvic muscles in tone and ensures normal blood flow, preventing the buildup of tension and discomfort. It is akin to giving your body the necessary fine-tuning it requires, allowing everything to function smoothly and pleasantly. For women, this can be especially important, given that the pelvic area is subject to the effects of diminished circulation due to hormonal changes and aging. However, men can also face such discomfort, and self-exploration offers a simple and natural solution that can make a significant difference. It is a comforting thought that we possess the ability to take charge of our health and comfort through such an innate action. In addition to the benefits for the pelvic region, self-stimulation has proven surprisingly effective in combating a common issue that many of us face: headaches. We are all familiar with those nagging pains that can strike suddenly and ruin our day. While there may be an urge to reach for pain relief medication right away, there exists an alternative, natural, and remarkably effective method: self-stimulation. During orgasm, our body releases a wealth of endorphins, those delightful hormones that grant us a sense of well-being and act as natural analgesics. These endorphins can help diminish the intensity of headaches and other pains, providing relief in a pleasurable and effective manner. Imagine, instead of relying on medications, you could trust your body's natural mechanisms for pain relief. This is an alternative many are unaware of, but once you understand the science behind it, everything falls into place. Why not choose a solution that not only alleviates pain, but also lifts your spirits, reduces stress, and fosters a deeper connection with yourself? It is a victory across multiple fronts for both men and women. Integrating self-stimulation into your self-care routine is not merely about satisfying a physical need, it is about harnessing your body's inherent capabilities to maintain overall well-being. Whether it alleviates discomfort in the pelvic area or tackles headaches, the benefits are undeniably clear. Self-exploration transcends the obvious. It empowers you to utilize your body's healing capabilities, offering relief, comfort, and satisfaction all in one act. So the next time you feel that familiar tension building in your mind or body, consider turning to self-exploration. It serves as a powerful tool not only for combating unpleasant sensations, but also for reconnecting with the pleasure your body can provide. Self-exploration not only brings physical benefits, but is also supported by science as an effective means of reducing stress. In a world that constantly pushes us to meet expectations, deadlines, and obligations, the accumulated stress, if left unchecked, can negatively affect our health, both mental and physical. Self-pleasure offers a natural and highly enjoyable way to mitigate this stress, fostering a state of relaxation by stimulating the release of dopamine and serotonin, the happiness hormones produced within our bodies. These substances are incredibly effective in balancing our emotions, improving our mood, and creating a sense of calm. This becomes particularly significant as we age, as emotional well-being becomes essential for enjoying a happy and fulfilling life in our later years. It pertains not just to physical health, but also to emotional stability and harmony. Caring for oneself allows us to manage our mental health, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. And the most wonderful aspect of this is that it is entirely within our control, a personal, intimate method of self-care that can be practiced anytime and anywhere. However, the advantages do not end there. For those grappling with sleep difficulties, self-exploration may prove to be an unexpected yet highly effective ally. We have all faced that frustrating moment when sleep evades us, tossing and turning without finding the coveted slumber we desperately need. Yet after reaching orgasm, the body releases prolactin, a hormone that promotes relaxation and facilitates deeper, more restorative sleep. This is nature's way of helping us unwind, soothing both body and mind, and preparing us for rest. Therefore, if you find yourself struggling to drift off, this practice could offer you a completely natural solution without the side effects that often accompany sleep medications. Not only does it help you sleep, but it also leaves you with a sense of well-being. The revelations surrounding self-exploration are powerful, and embracing them is not merely an indulgence, but a pathway to a healthier, more fulfilled life. So as you navigate the challenges of daily life, remember the potent benefits that lie within the simple act of self-exploration. Allow yourself the grace of pleasure and the gift of health, because you deserve nothing less. What if I told you that one of the most damaging myths about masculinity could be utterly shattered with a simple act of self-reflection? Have you ever wondered if self-exploration could actually enhance rather than diminish your sense of masculinity? And what if I said that this practice, often shrouded in stigma, is not only beneficial, but essential to the holistic health of every man? Let's unravel these misconceptions and delve deeper into the empowering reality of self-exploration. Imagine standing at the crossroads of self-discovery, where ancient beliefs about manhood collide with modern understanding. It has long been propagated that self-exploration undermines a man's masculinity, a notion as distant from the truth as the stars in the night sky. In reality, engaging in self-exploration does not diminish testosterone levels. Rather, it provides a means to regulate and maintain that intricate hormonal balance vital for overall well-being. So, gentlemen, there's no need for alarm. Self-exploration does not jeopardize your masculinity or sexual vitality. In fact, it may serve as a safeguard for both. As you continue to absorb these insights, consider leaving a comment with the number 2 below to signal your engagement with this vital conversation. Self-exploration is not merely a tool for physical gratification. It is a crucial aspect of nurturing one's overall health, especially as the years pass by. This practice has been shown to alleviate stress, promote relaxation, support mental well-being, and facilitate restful sleep for individuals of all genders. It offers a pathway to connect with oneself, fostering a sense of confidence in one's body and allowing one to savor the myriad pleasures life has to offer. Let's cast aside the shadows of myth and embrace self-exploration for what it is: a natural, healthy approach that enriches our lives while caring for both our bodies and minds. It's essential to acknowledge the profound emotional and psychological impact that self-exploration can have. Too often overlooked, these effects may be among the most significant aspects of this practice. Self-exploration transcends the mere physical act. It is an intimate journey of self-discovery, a profound reconnection with oneself. In these moments, we do not simply indulge in physical pleasure, we nourish our emotional well-being. Every time we take a moment to attune ourselves to our own bodies, we send a pivotal message to our minds. My body is still significant. It continues to bring joy, comfort, and pleasure. This affirmation positively influences our self-esteem and mood, reinforcing our sense of worth and contentment. For older adults, the emotional benefits of self-exploration can be even more pronounced. Many who engage in this practice regularly report lower levels of anxiety, reduced depression, and an overall greater satisfaction with their sexual lives, even in the absence of a partner. This offers a source of relief and empowerment, reminding them that their bodies are still brimming with life and can yield happiness, even outside the confines of intimate relationships. Such realizations can be profoundly liberating, especially in a society that often equates aging with a decline in sensuality or sexual vitality. Before we proceed, let me remind you to like this video if you find it valuable and subscribe to Listen My Advice for tips on inviting abundance and prosperity into your life. Now, let's continue exploring this important topic. You may find yourself pondering whether self-exploration can become excessive. Can it morph into something harmful if indulged in too frequently? The key lies in finding balance. Like any other aspect of life, moderation is crucial. Self-exploration is a healthy, natural method for nurturing one's physical and emotional well-being. Yet it must be approached mindfully. It should not devolve into a compulsion. Instead, it should be embraced as a means to unwind, feel good, and develop a deeper connection with your body. When undertaken for these reasons, it transforms into an act of self-care, rather than a source of guilt or shame. If self-exploration helps you unwind, elevate your mood, and gain insight into what your body truly desires, then it is something to be embraced, not dismissed. Moreover, I want to emphasize an important point, particularly for those without partners. One does not need a relationship to maintain an active sexuality. This is a critical reminder for all, especially for those who believe that being single equates to the end of their sexual experiences. Nothing could be further from the truth. Self-exploration serves as a beautiful reminder that your capacity to enjoy pleasures is not reliant on another person. You can continue to revel in your body, maintain a connection with your sensuality, and experience the joys of physical pleasure on your own. There is nothing shameful about this. In fact, it is a way to keep the flame of your sexuality burning brightly, even in solitude. Dear listeners, as we consider these truths, it is vital to remember that our sexuality is an integral aspect of our identity, a facet that does not fade with the passage of time. Self-exploration is a powerful tool that aids us in preserving our physical and emotional health, regardless of how many candles adorn our birthday cake. It shields us from potential issues we may not even be aware of, such as pelvic stagnation, prostate cancer, headaches, and insomnia. Additionally, it helps mitigate the stress and anxiety we all encounter in the complex realities of today's world. At the end of the day, self-exploration is about more than just physical satisfaction. It embodies love and respect for oneself at every stage of existence. With the wisdom that comes with experience, we understand that caring for our bodies and minds is an act of self-love, one that transcends age. I encourage you to engage with this practice openly and without guilt, to accept it for all the benefits it brings, and to appreciate it for what it truly represents, a celebration of life, well-being, and joy. As we reach the conclusion of this candid journey, I hope you have gained a deeper understanding of the importance of self-care, self-love, and the role that self-exploration can play in nurturing your physical and emotional health. No matter your age, it is not solely about physical gratification. It is about honoring your body, valuing the wisdom that experience brings, and continuing to nourish yourself in ways that foster happiness, peace, and harmony in your life. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. What insights have you gleaned from today's discussion? What lesson will you carry forward from this video and apply to your everyday life? Please share your reflections in the comments below. I eagerly await your ideas and perspectives. And of course, if you found this video helpful, remember to like, share it, and subscribe to listen my advice. Your support is crucial in allowing us to continue offering you inspirational and empowering content. Thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in the next video.